Hello and welcome to the Relevate Community, the business octopus. I had the wrong slide there at the bottom, but hey, that's all good. And full confession, we are not live. Normally we do this as a live stream every Friday morning. However, today I'm overseas due to travel and being in the air at various times or on the road or whatever, not really going to be able to do the live stream in the morning as it will be my 3 or 4 a.m. So I'm in India at the moment. I'm traveling, so this is a record. You're just going to have to make do with that. If you've got any comments and questions, please let us know anyway, because we can come back afterwards. Whilst we can't answer you live, we can still answer you in the comments post haste. All good.
How you Absolutely. I'm fab. How are you, Avon?
Well, now adjusted to a time zone, which is great. Excellent. For now, but then in a few days, I'm going to be able to adjust back to the other time zone. So, but other than that,
part of the fun.
Traveling around in India, traffic's always fun. Good catching up with our team. We're in our Relevate office here.
Yes.
Well, they're knocking off for work now, but yeah, some people are still there. Yeah.
Oh no, they're still hard at it. Some of them I can see.
Yes, and you're going from Brisbane in winter to Chandigarh in summer is very, very different. Yes, I was in a jumper last week. I'm in a t-shirt and shorts today. Need time to acclimatise. But yeah, here we are. All good. So I guess one of the things we wanted to talk about was what happens behind the curtain of the Relevate community. We keep talking about it. It's in the background. We've got that, the first little slide you saw on the bottom here is the link, so you can find out what it is. But the problem is, people see these things and they go, oh, it's just another community or it's just another networking thing. But I think there's some nuance and there's some stuff that you're probably missing out on. So the community is more something where we've got a very sort of, I guess, vetted network of people that we know that they think the right way and they're kind of growth ready. There's no lifestyle businesses. There's no crypto gurus. You're not going to get spammed. You keep your business cards in your pocket.
And we talk
about yeah, and we talk about how to improve or to grow and to scale and just to get better. And no one's sitting there pitching to each other, and we leave room to actually talk and engage with each other. So what we want to do today is talk about, we had someone come in last week. It was their first time and they were just getting started in business. So we just want to go through that. So Amanda, do you want to give us a bit of a rundown on your recollection of our latest guest?
Absolutely. This is by far probably one of my favorite catch-ups we've had to date, because we had so one of the community had invited a guest, said, hey, come and check it out, it'll blow your mind, and we showed up for it. We did blow his mind. We did a great job. So basically what had happened, guest came in and I just hit him up straight, because most of the people in the room had met before, were familiar with their businesses, and we had our guest. So I said, tell us your story, what you're all about, and how can we help? And that's where it started. And we spent a good hour pulling apart this new business new business venture that he'd come up with, and how he can go from just starting out to, to the moon, basically. So Avon, let's unpack it play by play. So tell us a little bit about the product that he'd brought to the table.
So he's got a pottery wheel, but like a micro one. So you think of pottery wheels, you think about 20 or 30 kilo sort of thing that you sit on, and is generally only in very niche and specialty sort of areas. But that's the problem, is that a lot of times people think of it as that, but when people are just starting out, it's a hobby. Being small means you can have it in your house. There are plenty of crafty people out there that enjoy doing things. And probably even if you've got this giant pottery wheel, you're not going to create this ornate vase that's 10 feet tall. You're probably just going to start with something small anyway. So rather than having an accessibility problem of having to wait until you get to the access to the school one or the university one or the craft college one or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
A special need, you just buy it, and it's not that expensive. In fact, it wants to make it so accessible that it's going to be less than half of the incumbent product on the market. So having and I think this is where we get into more of the detail of the conversation that we had, is that sometimes people think, oh, if I'm cheaper, I'll get more customers and it'll be better. And I think there's probably more of a healthy middle ground. One of the things we talked about was his go-to-market strategy. Another one we talked about was his pricing strategy. And quite often it's about understanding how much research he's done in the market. So I don't know, what research would you do if you were in the market trying to do one of these, get one of these things going?
So obviously we're gonna jump on the Google bot. We're gonna check out what's happening online. I think also getting around and speaking to the people that are actually using them, either like you said in those schools or in maybe like craft groups, all of those type of people. Go and ask them, what have you seen out there? What would you like to see? And start to get a gauge of what's already happening and what people would like to see. Just go and speak to people, do your research, maybe join some different groups, get a feel for what's happening out in the marketplace, definitely.
And like having been in business, like you and I would say that's obvious, but to this young guy who's trying to like start this business, he'd not really come from that. So he didn't know what he didn't know. So he didn't know he had to go and find that out. So
yeah, exactly.
And we kind of gave him some perspective. We mentioned market stalls as like you've got, because I think he said the commercial approach that he went to other pottery wheel businesses or to trades or to individuals. They're like, okay, whatever. I'd rather go with a brand name that I know and trust. But they weren't open to it. Whereas I think, if you're going to disrupt the market, because he said that the current ones are quite expensive for what they are. If you're going to disrupt the market, you need that groundswell effect. Like taxis in Australia were popular because, not popular, but like they were successful and they had a fairly solid business because you had this license.
Default option, right?
Crazy expensive. And then Uber comes along and so they were cheaper, but they got massive adoption, incredibly wide market, and to the point where there was a quality layer as well. And that like the review setting meant that you didn't have the crappy taxi, you had a clean brand new car, and they were really hoping to get a 5-star review. And so that flipped the market on its head. So if this guy's going to go out and do that in the pottery wheel business, he needs to take a non-traditional approach.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So after identifying that, everybody else in the room started to kind of offer their thoughts or suggestions because, one idea led to another idea, and we just had this snowball of like, I don't think I couldn't write fast enough. There was so much
he
stuff.
Couldn't. He was madly taking notes, and every time I looked, another hand shot up. It was awesome. I don't think we even got through all of the ideas that the team had, which was absolutely insane. But it was amazing to see, and that's what's really amazing about this type of environment. Like Avon's saying, you have that cross-pollination and ideas feed into other ideas, and it's just really amazing to see. And now, Avon, where do you think he would be in 12 months from now if he went and applied all of that strategy and ideas and things that we brought to light for him?
10x. Like, I think he sold one.
Yes.
And it hasn't sold anymore. But I reckon if, he could pull together, $500 or $1,000 to set up a market stall and print, build another like 20 of these, and then set up like a demo station where you got some clay and you can like kids can walk up and then have a go.
Yes, absolutely.
You'll take my money.
Yeah.
The next challenge though in the production of that is actually firing or baking that. So maybe if the next iteration could be it's a 2-part product, you can buy the wheel and then you can buy a little home kiln that's this big, like because
Mini bake oven.
Yeah, you can only make small things on it. So is there something that you could use that for? Or maybe there's an off-the-shelf product from a warehouse or like a Bunnings type of place that would do it. No?
Yeah, there you go. Options. And another thing that came to light, not sure if you remember this, Avon, having a different range of perspectives and just people that see the world differently to you. So he actually had a prototype, like we asked him, do you have one? So we can have a look at it. And he grabbed it. And the first thing one of the team said was, it looks like a jar of Vegemite. So now that someone has pointed that out, he's got this like ideal little marketing tool that he can go and use, like sit it next to, maybe with the label facing the other way, but like sit it next to the jar of Vegemite and people will remember that. Like I'm never going to forget the little pottery wheel that's the size of the jar of Vegemite, like things like that.
I'm thinking now, like put a bit of toast on it and then have a knife, like it's spinning the toast around while he's putting the butter or something on it. That would kind of like seal that kind of like marriage. But again, like now we need to put it, or you maybe like put toast on some like handmade plate or something like that that's been made with this thing. Or micro on this micro plate made on this micro thing. That'd be hilarious. Like just something to really like tie it in. Anyway, there's some more ideas coming out. But like you're saying, the people that were in there's a cybersecurity specialist. There's someone who does. Well, there was you and I. I don't know. My brain's run out of tabs.
That's okay. So like business development coaches. Who do we have? Who else was in the room that night? AI humans. Like who else do we?
Software developers. All. So by having different walks of life, all have their own perspective. We advise lots of businesses on what software they should do or how to go to market. So there was our perspective. Then there's someone from a cybersecurity perspective. Then there's someone from a marketing perspective. And so all of those elements come together. It's like having your own little boardroom of professionals.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's like. Yeah.
And I don't think he could. Yeah, like you said, couldn't write it down fast enough. My hope is though, like, because what happens next? You get all that advice. High fives, great. But is someone actually going to hold you to account?
That's right. And if he continues, which he will, of course he will, to come and join us in the community, he knows that in 4 weeks from now, Amanda or Avon is going to come and tap in on the shoulder and said, hey, did you go to the market? What happened? Have you taken that picture of the pottery wheel next to the jar of Vegemite? Have you done this? Have you done that? And having someone that you're accountable to, that next time they see you is going to be, hey, did you do the thing? That's just like, there's someone there that you're going to want to show up for. So that's incredible as well.
I have an idea for a slogan.
Tell me.
Puts some clay on every cheek.
Oh my gosh.
Like you're doing the pottery and then you're like, there's like,
and then the song, right?
Like the song, yeah.
Mint.
But you set the right conditions and you have the right environment, you have the right people, then that sort of stuff, like kind of what we're doing now, because we meet on a regular basis, we come with that attitude and that perspective to say, this is a safe space, this is where we get to, give ideas and recommendations with the intent that you want that person to be better for them, not because you want to sell themselves. And then that comes back tenfold the other way. I think sometimes, making introductions or providing a little bit of guidance really does make a difference. Whereas getting in a room full of people and getting 1 minute and 40 seconds in amongst 50 other people to give you a pitch, you quickly get watered down and forgotten. So keeping it a really solid group is very, very valuable.
Absolutely. And just circling back to one thing that did come up, Avon, that I just want to like pull the thread on a little bit. We spoke a little bit about how he can get out there and test the product. So we taught him how to do so market research. We taught him how to do some of the marketing. So do you want to just dig a little bit into to close the loop about how to test the product and test the pricing? So what were some of the conversations that we had around that?
Well, like the comment was made that everybody only wants to go with the incumbent product in the market, and these are like art students, or they're institutions, or things like people who are a little bit more professionally minded. But maybe like our perspective was, I think he was trying to go to the consumer, and he wanted to go online to like Facebook and Instagram and all of that sort of stuff, and that's well and good once you already have a reputation in the marketplace. So we recommended that in order to get that deeper value, you needed to get in front of people and actually talk to them, because you need case studies. You need people who are using it, who can then provide their own user-generated content to say, look at this cool thing. He's got the ability to scale up production, and he's got the ability to keep production costs low. But what he's not doing is getting those case studies and testimonials, because he feels like he's blocked, but he's not.
Right. So, and that was something that came up. One of the team said, hey, here's a place where you can go and find influencers or people that create user-generated content. You can find them in the right niche. You reach out to them, you pay them a fee, and they get it out into the wild for you. So that, like you say, there's no excuses there. We've got a way to directly reach these people without having to sort of, break through all the minutiae and the noise.
But we also talked about sales volumes. Like if he's going to sell one online, there's a whole bunch of convincing, demoing, photos. Then there's like your e-commerce shop. But if you go to like have a tie-up with like those paint and sip houses, or those plaster foam houses.
Great idea. Then
you then have people who are already in that frame, that are already looking for that thing, and so he could wholesale to them, or maybe sit in there and do like a demo day and talk to a few people, or run a one-off session, or the markets is one avenue. But how are you actually going to get out there? And then when you talk about price, yes, you could be cheaper, but you don't have to be like cost plus pricing. He's going to need that money to invest in product development, like make it better, make it last longer. He's going to need to do better branding, website. All that's going to take time and money. Yes, you could do it cheaper. One day you're probably going to have to hire staff. Cheaper doesn't necessarily mean that you get more staff. So there's probably a middle ground. Rock bottom price, probably not a good idea. Top price, also you're now competing with something that's already in the market. They'll just get the thing they know. Somewhere in the middle is probably ideal. So
absolutely,
it's not always that your thinking is wrong. It may be just that it's not optimized.
Nailed it. Absolutely.
Particularly for the problems that are going to come up later, because the thing you want in business is better problems. And if scalability becomes an issue, yes, you've got great sales, but you can't grow because you can't afford to buy the machine to do to ramp up production, then you have a scalability problem. But if you know that that's coming up and that you're going to need to be able to allow for that in future, well, then if you just change your price today, you set the expectation. You can always discount. You can go, here's the price, but for you, I'm going to give it to you for 20% off. They feel like they've gotten a deal. You've gotten your price in the early days, but you've not set the market's price expectation that is normal.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Nicely put, sir.
So I guess, we've kind of talked about go to market. We've talked about how to test product and price and the value of the Relevate community, as well as the people that are in the room. And I think, we keep saying this at the end of these sessions, but, it really is something that, now we've got groups in various regions, and we've got our, 8, 9, and 10 figure founder chats where we get someone who's been very successful come in and speak about their experience and where they've gotten stuck. So just to, I guess, close it out and get that back up, jump on in, have a look, check us out. You might be surprised. And we do have a filter, so please read the banned list. You may have a laugh.
Yes.
If you don't have a laugh, then it's not for you. If you do have a laugh,
then for you.
you're probably
then you're in the right place.
Yeah. So, but yeah, serious only. We're not here to muck around or kind of have a dabble. We're all really shooting for something big here. So, all right. Well, that's it. I guess. Did you have any closing points before we run?
Stay classy.
Yeah, well, that's my line. Yeah, this is the warning, right? So you've got here. This is a military term. You've got the warning order and then the executive word of command. So sometimes in the marketing sense, okay, you need to give some form of a warning order, like this is coming out.
Okay.
And then boom, like ticket sales, and then open for business, open for tickets. Like I think it was it's not Coachella, it's the British version. I can't remember what it's called.
No, I don't either.
No. It's some music festival.
The festival.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a music festival.
There's a thing.
But they market it all year, and then ticket sales are open for one day, and it's sold out in less than an hour. Generally in like 12, 14 minutes or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Wild.
They do this whole year of marketing. Get on the wait list. Get on the wait list. Get on the wait list. And then when the tickets become available, that's the only time in which it sells. So you've got the executive word of command, which is you stay classy. And then that gives me time after I hit the end record button for you to say,